Good morning. I am going to show you in this video my process for archiving material, ephemera. You may or may not have seen on my LinkedIn or elsewhere that I have got a bit of a passion for saving cultural material, a lot of the time relating to the band Radiohead or my local music scene in the Medway towns. The Glastonbury Festival is a recent collection that I started. And started archiving. But I really anything that's like kind of cultural ephemera. If I can scan it, I'll scan it and I'll archive it. I use the Internet Archive for storing this stuff. It's a great way of sort of saving stuff really for the future. But anyway, today I'm going to show you how to scan a document, a photograph, and a couple of steps to make it slightly better and ready for archiving. Now, first and foremost, scanning. I've got my little flatbed scanner in front of me. It's just a simple Canon scanner, a Lide 300. I'm going to scan a 8x10 promotional photograph of the band Spiritualized. From the 1990s, fantastic band, psychedelic rockers, awesome. Go and check them out. But this promotional photograph would have been distributed by their record label, and I love collecting these. So I'm going to scan that. The software I'm going to use is ViewScan, and this is a fantastic piece of software for scanning. A lot of the time, the software that will come with your scanner will just not be very good. ViewScan works with thousands of scanners. It's a universal scanner program. And it is awesome. It gives you a very high level of control. You can set various different settings. Personally, I keep it simple. I think the best way of doing this is just get a raw scan. You can have color correction here. I never bother because even in ViewScan, the color correction tools aren't great. You can add filters. Again, I never do any of this. I just get a raw scan and then I fix it in Photoshop. It won't take much fixing, and I'll show you that in a moment. Input wise, this is the important bit because we're looking for archival quality. So I'm going to scan it at 600 dpi, which is very, very high resolution, and I'm going to scan it in the TIFF format, which is a lossless image format. File name, it's just going to name it, it's going to year, month, date, and then a serial number. If you were scanning many documents, let's say you had a little magazine and you were scanning all of the pages in the magazine, the way that this is set up with a plus sign at the end, each sequential scan would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Let's preview, first of all. The scanner's now going to quickly, hopefully, preview what's on its bed. And as you can see, I've just put this photograph on the scanner bed. I've not bothered buttoning it up to the edges because quite often, sometimes if you butt it up to the edge, sometimes it'll go a little bit under the edge or a little bit off the scan area. If you want to get all of it, do it like this. Just put it in the middle of the scanner bed, then get your crop tool, drag it so that you are scanning a little bit more than the actual thing that you're looking to do. Okay, we've got a little bit of leeway here all the way around. I'm now going to press the scan button and it's going to relatively quickly scan this at 600 dpi and give me a TIFF file. It won't take long. This is a pretty decent scanner. Older scanners, might have taken 30 seconds to do a scan. This is maybe 10 seconds, give or take. Look at that. What a rock band. This guy here, Jason Pierce, he was in the band Spacemen 3 in the 80s with Pete Kember. Fantastic band again, psychedelic rock, Spacemen 3. Go and check them out. He then set up Spiritualized in 1990 when he fell out with Pete Kember. A great band. Spiritualized, the first 3 albums are fantastic. I would wholeheartedly recommend you go and check it out. That scan is now complete. Let's have a look at my scans folder. There it is. Let's drag and drop it onto Photoshop and we'll take a look. And we'll very quickly get this into a fit state. Now, first thing I'm going to do is straighten it. You can see I've not bothered putting this onto the flatbed the scanner in any way, shape or form straight. So this is wonky. I've got my crop tool selected here. There's a very useful tool here for straightening it. Now I'm going to zoom in and I'm looking for a straight horizontal line, potentially that one. Quite often with these promo photos, these are not actually level. You can see here, that's actually a little bit higher than here. So I'm going to use the edge of the paper. I'm going to press my my mouse button, drag across, and I'm going to sort of get it so it's looking like that straight. And that's going to rotate the photo by -0.7 degrees. That to me now looks significantly more level, and we can bring our crop tool down. Yeah, more or less perfect. It doesn't matter if we've cropped a little bit off there. I'm not bothered about that. The important thing is that we don't have any of that white background showing. So I want to kind of just very quickly bring this in on all four sides. We'll do the crop first. Always straighten it and do the crop first of all. Oh, I've cropped too much there. Don't like that. Let's scroll back up. Yeah, that's looking good. Now, click the return button, apply the crop. Now, we've got something that looks better. But this is pretty flat. As you saw when I did the scan, I didn't use any color correction or brightness stuff or whatever. So this is a pretty flat scan. But we're in Photoshop. We've got tools. Two simple tools I'm going to use. This button here gives us adjustment layers. First one, levels. This is where we can set the dark point, white point, and midtones. We've got a histogram. You can see the dark point, the white point, they're not touching the edges of the histogram. First thing to do, move that across so it meets the end of the histogram, and likewise there. You can see the photo changed as I did that. Next thing I'm going to do is get that one in the middle. That's the midtones. And I generally just move that to the left a little bit. Like that, let's turn this layer on and off, and we'll see the difference that has made immediately. It's made that scan look better. Let's do one more step. Adjustment layers, curves. This is where we can set some contrast. Darks of the image are here, lights of the image are here. Drag this line down towards the darks, and the image gets darker. Drag this bit of the line higher, and the lights get lighter. If you make the darks darker and the lights lighter, you increase the contrast of your image. If we can turn that on and off, again, you can see the change that has made. Now, I've probably made the darks a little bit too dark, so I'm going to click that and just with my up arrow key, ever so slightly, push it up. And to my eyes, that now looks a little bit better. We've got a nice, solid darkness within like the shadow areas of the image. We've not lost loads of detail. This looks like a nicer photo for having done that. Let's zoom out a little bit. Last thing I'm going to do, there was some mess down here and there's some various dots. I'm going to add a layer. This is at the top of the layer stack. And that layer now will allow me to use this spot healing tool, which is that one there. And I can very quickly just go around the image. And what I'm looking for is, I'm not going to bother trying to clean all of that up really. This bit here I might have a go at. Let's make that tool a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm going to make it totally hard. It's a hard brush now, and I'm just going to quickly paint it on like that. In a few seconds, this will do some magic. Yeah, and that's now significantly better. I'm going to make the tool a bit smaller and just quickly pick these bits out. There you go. We've made a better job of that. I might actually go and try and do these. This spot healing tool, yeah, as you can see, this is fantastic. This is a lifesaver, this tool. You don't need to be a Photoshop genius to use the spot healing tool. It makes light work of retouching. I'm not going to bother trying to clean that, sort of like fading up. Oh, that bit there looks a bit ugly. Let's just do that. There we go. Again, I'm not trying to make this image perfect. It's a 30-year-old photograph. It's not going to be perfect. It's faded. It's a bit, the paper's gone a bit yellow. But the bits that are really obnoxious, we can absolutely do a little bit of simple retouching like this and make it better. Let's drag that down there. This is the danger of using the spot healing tool. It samples from around where you do. I'm going to undo that, and let's maybe do this a little bit more controlled. Just little clicks at a time rather than like a big drag, because it accidentally sampled some of that text. which is not cool. I'm moving it around, and what I'm looking for is any kind of like little spots. There's nothing else on the edges I'm bothered about. Got a few bits on the photo. I'm going to very quickly get rid of these. You know, again, I'm not looking to make this a perfect image, not at all, but I think we can make it just a little bit better with a little bit of effort. You know, it's got a couple of very light scratches on it. Yeah, these like little bits of dust and dirt. Some of that might have been on negative. Some of it's probably been accrued over the 30 years that this print's been in existence. I mean, honestly, some of this dust might have been on my scanner bed. I did give it a clean before I did the scan, but dust is a bit of a bugger. So this is now looking to my eyes like we've done about as much as we need to at this point. There's a little brown stain there, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And maybe like try and spot heal that little very faint line that was there. This is looking to me like a job well done. I'm going to zoom out. Yeah, that looks okay. So I'm now going to flatten these layers and basically set these changes permanent. The beauty of using adjustment layers is that while we've made these 3 changes, we've not actually done anything to the original photo. I can turn them off and we're now seeing the original photo. I can turn them back on and we're seeing the original photo, but by looking through these adjustment layers. This stack, imagine it is literally a stack. You've got that at the bottom and each of these are laying on top of it. So when you look through the stack, you only see the photo with the effect of all of these. That means that if you do the work that we've done here and you're not happy with the outcome, it does mean that you're able to either go into this and change it slightly, or you could simply delete that altogether and try again with a different levels adjustment layer. But I'm happy with this. This looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and flatten these layers. So this now will make the changes permanent on that image. I'm going to press save. And we've now got a file that is ready for archiving. I will rename it. It's always good to rename your files properly. This is Spiritualized 8x10 promo photo 1995, and the photographer Kevin, I can't even read that, Kevin Westenberg. So let's put that in the file name as well, Kevin Westenberg. That is now ready to be archived. It's quick and easy work to get to a really decent outcome. I hope this was interesting and helpful. I would always encourage people to archive any ephemera. You know, nobody saves anything these days. Photographs are done on your camera phone. Nobody bothers printing stuff. If you can archive, you know, your family photos, they'll live for a lot longer. If you can archive anything that's hard material, like this sort of stuff, and get it online, the Internet Archive, which is archive.org, is a great place to put it. Yeah, easy work and very satisfying to do as well. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.